Hi, this is Mr. Pablo, and today you are going to learn about probability of two events. Um, Earlier you've already learned about probability of two events, but in a way that you list down all the results. That's the probability of two events by listing. This time you're going to learn a different method, a different systematic method that will make you find out the answers or the probable outcomes to a certain problem. So let's look at this problem right here. There are two spinners. If we investigate first, they are all equally likely to obtain or to come out. Numbers numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and spinner B also has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it says here that these two spinners are spun at the same time. Complete the table to show the possible outcomes for the total of the scores when added together. So I think there are some really different keywords in here that we need to look at first before we do it. When they say the total of the scores when added together. Alright, so imagine if you spin this and it lands on 2, and you spin this and it lands on 3. What is the total of those numbers? So you can imagine, you can just already know that by adding 2 and 3, which is 5. Okay, but 5 will not only be the outcome. There will be tons of outcomes because not all the time the spinner will land here on 2, and this spinner will land on 3. So we organize the table similar to this. Okay, so one side of the table will be spinner A, and the other side of the table will be spinner B. This is always how we set up our table. And then we lay out all the outcomes for each spinners. They are very similar, 1 to 5 here, and also 1 to 5 over here. And then we try to answer now the question, what is the total of the score? So for example, if spinner A lands on 1 and spinner B lands on 1, what is the total to that when added together? So 1 plus 1 is 2. So I put in 2 in there. Okay, and if spinner A lands on 1 and spinner B lands on 2, what is the total of that? 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, and spinner A lands on 1, spinner B lands on 3. What's the total of 1 plus 3, which is 4? Okay, so basically we're just adding those up, and if we keep doing that, these will be the outcomes. Okay, and then that's 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 plus 5 is 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 plus 5 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 1 is 5. 6. Sorry about that. 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 4 is 9. 5 plus 5 is 10. Right, so now we have completed the table, and these are all the possible outcomes when the numbers on the two spinners are added together. So now it's time for us to complete the following statements below. So let's look at this. What's the probability that the score is greater than 3? So we look at those numbers. All right, what are the numbers greater than 3? Well, those are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we count them up. How many 4s do you see? From 4 to 10. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There are 22 scores that are greater than 3. Okay, out of, well, you can count all the possible outcomes, but there's an easier way again that we can do that, because in spinner A there are 5 outcomes, and in spinner B there's another 5 outcomes. What we can do to find out all the total outcomes is that we can multiply them, and that gives us 25. So all of these numbers would be out of 25. Okay, if you can check that, okay, there are 5 rows and 5 columns, so 5 times 5 is 25, which just perfectly makes sense. Or you can just easily count them one by one if you want to. Now, then that's the answer to that. We cannot simplify it anymore. That's the simplest form it can be. Okay, now, probability of even score. Now, how many numbers there are even? Again, even numbers, okay? Even numbers are numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Okay, it follows this pattern. Alright, so how many even numbers do you see? So we've got this one. This is an even number. 2 is an even number. 4, all the 4s are even numbers. Okay, all the 6s are even numbers. They're all even. And the 8s and the 10. Okay, so how many numbers are those? So you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 even scores out of, again, of 25, because there are 25 numbers. Right. Now, what about the probability the score is less than 5? Okay, so probability that the score is less than 5. Now, what are the numbers that are less than 5? Let's think about that. Okay, so I'm going to choose pink over here. Right, what are the scores less than 5? So basically those are 4, 3s, and 2s, right? So let's just count it. How many 4s? 1, 2, 3. How many 3s? 1, 2, and how many 2s? It's just 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 scores in here that are less than 5 out of the 25 numbers. Okay, and that's it. We cannot really simplify that anymore further. Right, now the probability of a score of 8. So it's asking us how many 8s are there. So we can look at this again and the table, and we can see that 1, 2, 3, there are 3 8s in there. So we can say that there are 3 out of 25. There are 3 8s out of the 25 total scores. And there we go. We've already answered all the probability questions, and that ends our lesson. So again, you can use a table, okay, to find out all the possible outcomes. This probability of 2 events this method is called using a table. Okay, this is the method that we've used. We've used a table. So this is ideal to be used whenever questions like these will be asked for you to do. The total scores when added together, something like that which should make you realize that you must use a table. Alright, that's just a piece of advice from me. Right, so I hope you learned something from that, and thank you for watching the video.